Hey folks, welcome back to HeartGold vs. Crystal. We are here in Ecruteak City, and we are heading to the Ecruteak Dance Theater. Now, the Dance Theater is actually fairly different between the two versions. In HeartGold and Soul Silver, it's actually a small plot event that is happening here. As you can see, there is a Team Rocket member. In Crystal and those guys, it's just a bunch of trainers, but it is necessary on both versions to come here. You can't make a whole lot of progress without coming here, so you'll have to come here eventually and fight this guy. Pink hair, it's quite impressive. Now, why the hell they're having us fight a level 12 coughing at this point, I haven't the foggiest. We fought a guy tougher than this in Slowpoke, well, like 2 towns ago. It's a little ridiculous. But this does give an opportunity for Everett to actually do some stuff, like, other than be in for a turn before being switched out. Unfortunately, it's a coughing, so smokescreen is still a thing. And coughing are also pretty good defensively, so I wanted to tail whip them a few times. But now he's in a situation where I can actually do damage to him, as long as I hit. As you can see, that's a very nice amount of damage. Everett is going to take a while to get into a useful state, but I swear to God he will eventually. But right now he's stuck with Tackle, and Tackle isn't the most useful move ever, like at any point. This isn't Route 30 anymore, unfortunately. But Everett took care of him fairly easily. As you can see, barely did any damage, and that's almost all for the for what's going on here for HeartGold. A little unfortunate. But apparently they have some sort of secret plan. Oh, by the way, Mom, I just stopped a criminal. I've victims to attend to. I don't... Really, Mom? Anyway, let's talk to another one of the kimono girls. And yeah, the whole reason for doing this minor thing was to get this HM. This is undoubtedly the most useful HM, for some people the only useful HM. It contains Surf. Surf is a 95 base power special water move, which means that it's even better than Bubble Beam. Unfortunately, it still doesn't run off Klaus's best stat, so it'll always be a little bit hampered. But it's definitely a step up. It doesn't have the possibility of lowering speed, but I am more than willing to sacrifice that for the added power. If your team doesn't have Surf on it somewhere, that's a problem, because it will always be useful. Anyway, over here in Crystal, like I said, it's a bunch of trainers. We fight 5 different kimono girls, and it's a bunch of experience, and then we'll get the HM once we've defeated all 5 of them. It's alright. I'm okay with this, because each of the kimono girls has a different evolution. So it's a nice way to show off the various things. Unfortunately, I am very bad at remembering which kimono girl has which evolution. Some of them, their colors help. Some of them, it doesn't. So, this is good for, like, training a diverse number of Pokemon, but you can't refight them or anything, so it's just a one-time deal. Anyway, this is a Jolteon. It focuses mainly on speed. It's an electric type. It's very fragile, so any good ground-type move should take care of it fairly easily. Yeah, maybe even Webster managed to do something. That's saying something. And because all these evolutions are evolved Pokemon, they will give good experience, as you can see. It may be a one-time deal, but it's a good deal. Anyway, Mom, of course, wants to call us again. Well, this is Mom from a different universe or something, but, you know. Anyway, let's figure out who I want to put up in the lead. Again, I don't always remember which one I'm about to face, but I had a reasonable feeling that I was about to face a Vaporeon because this kimono is blue. And for that, I wanted to bring in our wonderful grass type, who would hopefully be able to do some things. And indeed, I was right, it is a Vaporeon. Vaporeon is probably the best evolution, honestly. It has pretty good special attack, good HP, and good defensive stats. Basically, it works as an excellent tank. That is my synopsis of it. If you're doing things in-game, it's probably the most useful unless you like the glass cannon approach, in which case Jolteon may be for you. Anyway, unfortunately I forgot that Frida doesn't actually have any offensive grass-type moves at this point, because move pool sucks. So I'm stuck to whittling here, which I probably should have seen coming. It's a Vaporeon after all. That's kind of what you do against them. But also, since this Vaporeon is kind of stuck with tackling, apparently, it won't be doing too much damage to Frida, and I'll be healing all of that back each time. Also, this is one of the few times you'll actually see me use Barrage. Like I said, Barrage functions like Fury Attack, and overall isn't too helpful. Especially against a bulky Pokemon like Vaporeon. But, nice amount of experience. Not as much as I would have liked. I want more level ups. Give me more level ups. Anyway, this one has a red kimono. It's a possibility that it is the fire type Flareon, but it may also have nothing to do with the Pokemon that they're going to use. And let's see, am I right? What's going on? What are we gonna see here? We've got Umbreon. Umbreon is a dark type, and I think it's more of a tank or a wall or something along those lines. It's more defensively oriented. I'm not sure which end of the spectrum it goes towards, but what I do know is that it's a dark type, and that's not a good matchup for Frida. Because Frida is part psychic type, and dark is super effective against psychic. But basic deal with Umbreon, you're gonna deal with it basically in the same way you're gonna deal with Vaporeon. Also, Pursuit does double damage to a Pokemon switching out. I really should have seen that coming. It's the same deal as with Vaporeon. You're gonna have to whittle it. It may inflict Toxic on you, which would be bad for long-term conflicts against it, which most will be. But because it's a dark type, you can use a bug or... Oh, hey, bug. Nice. A bug or a fighting type move against it. Unfortunately, there aren't very many good bug type moves in the second generation. There are more than in the first generation, wherein Twin Needle I think was the only good one. But alas, still not great. So this Leech Seed strategy is basically probably the best option I have. Because at least that way I'm doing some damage each turn, and you're just delaying the inevitable, basically. And if I'm gonna... I was hoping to get a good metronome. Like, other than the Twin Needle, which wasn't that great, just haven't really gotten a good metronome in a while. It's disappointing. And then we just had to jack something from Klaus, of course. Anyway, Sweet Kiss. I always mix up Sweet Kiss and Lovely Kiss. Sweet Kiss will inflict confusion on your opponent. I forget its accuracy. Lovely Kiss will inflict sleep, and it's apparently the signature move of the Jinx line. Anyway, I will see you for the other two Kimono girls after this commercial break. Alrighty, 2 more to go, and you can use process of elimination to figure out which ones are left. And you'll note that although Flareon is still there, there are no more kimono girls with red uniforms. That is blatantly misleading. Anyway, that also means I can use process of elimination to figure out what I'm more likely to face, and thus who I should lead with. Which is convenient. Anyway, what have we here? There are only 2 options left. And of course, I don't even remember in post-commentary. Espeon. Espeon is a psychic type, and is basically the special attack evolution. And it's not really a good thing for Webster to try to fight, because, yeah. Basically, it'll use Psychic move, Special Attack. Psychic is still a really strong type in the 2nd generation. It was kind of nerfed from the 1st generation, but it's still pretty good. And Espeon is kind of a boss. Anyway, here's that good metronome I was looking for, Zap Cannon. Not only did it actually hit, it has horrible accuracy, like 30% accuracy. Not only did it hit, I mean, it actually occurred. And then I got Hyper Beam. So I don't even know. I guess karma or something, making up for the bad run before. But yeah, bring in a Dark type against Espeon and it won't do a whole lot to you. Bring in something with high special defense, and it won't do much to you. And it's not the most durable thing in the world. It's not designed for that. So you can bring in a heavy hitter and you'll probably do just fine. As long as it can be outsped, which is not a guarantee. So I assume it's somewhat fast. It's probably not the fastest thing alive, and people who play the metagame are going to be like, oh, it's so slow because it's slower than Scyther or something. It's faster than an Ariados, I'll give you that. Anyway, that paralysis was probably still beneficial to me. Anyway, goes down, and we only have 1 left. See, this is a nice, cool way to both like show off the possibilities that your new Eevee can evolve into, and to kind of fill up your Pokedex, and to bring in the 2 new evolutions, which were introduced in the 2nd generation. So actually, I think it's clever, and it actually has 1 more function that most of you probably already know. By the way, Flareon, physical attacker, has no moves to support it because fire is special in this generation, and in the 4th generation it doesn't get any of the good physical fire moves. Basically, this also serves as to tie in actually to the Legendary Beast storyline, the one with Suicune, Raikou, and Entei. Because the Pokemon who died in that fire, most people theorize were Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Flareon, and then Magical Phoenix Bird came over and revived them as the legendary beasts. It's also the possibility that they were originally what they were originally, and then just revived and given magical powers by the Magical Phoenix Bird, but I think this is kind of the most commonly accepted explanation. And the fact that the evolutions are introduced in this town and are actually used once again in this town later on in the game, there's such a focus on them that I would be amazed if they were unrelated. Anyway, Flareon, like I said, is a fire type. Water will do the trick, ground will do the trick, rock will do the trick. You probably have something along those lines at this point. Unfortunately, you don't have the best water type move in the game yet, so you'll have to wait a little bit. But Flareon will go down pretty easily. It's unfortunate because I really, really love it, but it isn't very good. Ever. Especially compared to its brethren, Flareon just doesn't work. Anyway, once you defeat all the Kimono girls, this guy will give you Surf, just like before. So here you actually have to, like, work for it. so take that as you will. Again, highly recommended, not only because it's required to beat the game, but also because it's a really, really good move. And especially since Klaus is still stuck with Bubble at this point, rather than Bubble Beam, Surf is much appreciated. It's a significant step up. Not great ever still, because physical attack is still the thing, but way better, like 75 base power better. So much better, oh my goodness. But anyway, that takes care of the dance studio, and I will see you guys next time for the gym.